What's up, guys? Sorry for the wait. Back with interview with Sensei. This is our first interview in a while, but we're glad to be back, and a lot has been going on since we've been on break. You know, we're dealing with a lot of what they call trolls. If you guys don't know what trolls are out there, they're people.
Then you're blessed.
Then you're blessed. They are the internet people, the internet group of people that seem to have more wisdom than anyone else in the world about what they do and what they tend to comment about people and what they do, and somehow they know more. And God bless them, because you know what? If you don't have trolls, you're really not doing big things. We unfortunately have been hit with a handful of trolls. And you know, Sensei is not the type of practitioner or person to go at trolls, and you know, not the kind of guy to make waves, you know, that if you don't have to, because you know, making waves isn't, you know, something that somebody wants to make a norm. Going to war is not something you want to do every day, but when you're forced into the corner by multiple trolls and multiple websites and multiple pages trying to discredit, you know, Sensei for all the knowledge that he has, the years of training that he's been through. I mean, from random angles, people coming from all over the world trying to discredit Sensei, but he has the history and the training to prove every single one of them wrong. And what happens with trolls is, and why they are trolls, is because you'll present the truth, you'll give them facts after fact after fact, and they will still try to discredit you. And you know, I don't know about Sensei, but I'm sick and tired of it.
You know, drama attracts people, you know, so you gotta like appreciate the attention in some way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn a very negative into a positive. The thing about it is that you get these morons, and that's the nicest term I can come up with, that really aren't interested in the truth. You know, I spent a little bit of time, and you know, there's an old internet saying, and it says it's don't feed the trolls. I fed them a banquet. You know, I really did. You know, they asked me, oh, well, he doesn't possess any real skills, so we put out that video of me showing some good stuff, some serious skills, some high-level Aiki stuff, intermediate to high level. Well, I can make him dance. Does that make sense? So then they're going, well, what do they say next? Well, okay, well, maybe he can do some skills, but you know, he got a parking ticket when he would, you know, right. Dig up stuff on me and like,
to discredit him over something that has nothing to do with martial arts.
Anything, you know, like, oh well, his beard looks stupid, you know, and anything they could do. And one of the big things was they keep going at me like, well, he's self-promoted. I've never promoted myself.
Yeah,
and that one hurts, and I think somehow they picked up on it because of how quickly maybe I responded and how much I threw at them. I was like, I was not self-promoted, I never self-promoted, I did this, you know, because that's a big one for me, self-promotion, because a lot of martial artists do it, you know.
Why would you train with your sensei for so many years to be self-promoted?
It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If he wanted to be self-promoted, he would have promoted himself 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when I got my black belt, I would have started self-promoting myself. You know, it's just not. It wasn't the case. It's not the case. In fact, after I got my black belt, I put on a white belt to learn under my sensei. So self-promotion really went the opposite way. I was happy to put on that white belt to learn again. So these guys don't know what the heck they're talking about. I have my sensei on video promoting me. You know, I show them that video and they go, well, he never actually said that you're promoted. So I showed them a clip of him saying it.
I'm very proud. Today is also a very important day in that this is probably the final promotion in Aikido that I may ever do.
And they say, oh, well, we don't know that he really signed those certificates.
Yeah.
So I showed them pictures of him signing the certificates.
All the proof you need.
Then they said, oh, well, we can't really tell what those certificates are that he's signing. So I showed him a video of the
the kanji and everything.
Yeah, and everything.
And then they questioned the stamp or
then they
the
said
seal.
The stamp wasn't real.
Yeah.
And then I sent him a video of my sensei saying that the stamp was real, that he literally did it.
And there will be plateaus, but this is good methodology. It has my stamp and seal, literally. As we move through this day, I look forward to meeting each and every one of you and sharing this extremely, extremely beautiful occasion.
We should throw in all that stuff right now.
Yeah. Check it out.
All right. So we'll just piece it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all this stuff that went on, you know. And actually, I still have my certificate down here because I was making that stupid video. So I'll be right back. Yeah. So there you go, guys. You know, that was they were saying that.
Watch the angle, Sensei, because the glare, there might be some glare on there.
All right.
There you go.
So the issue, one of the issues was that they kept saying he promoted himself to Soka. He promoted himself to Soka. That's not true. Right there, it says that my sensei promoted me to Soka. Beyond that, they were saying, oh, it doesn't make any sense to be a Soka of your own Ryu. So it was like thing after thing after thing. It does make sense, but here's the thing. It wasn't supposed to be my own Ryu. It was supposed to be an offshoot of my sensei's Ryu. In truth, it was his Ryu is the Tagagi Shin Ryu, and my Ryu was to be the Tagagi Shinden Ryu, which literally translates as the transmissions from the Tagagi Shin Ryu. The reason why we didn't go with that name, there was a number of reasons, but one of the reasons that I didn't want to go with that name was because the name of my sensei's Ryu had changed quite a bit, and I mean, it used to be the Hokushin Ryu, and it was the Tanamiura Ryu for a short time, and then it went back to Hokushin Ryu, and then it became the Shindo Koden Ryu, and then it became the Tagagi Shin Ryu, and I could just see it changing names again, and then I would be Tagagi Shinden Ryu, and I'd be transmissions from a Ryu that doesn't exist, you know. So, in any case, we went with a different name. But the position in the title of Soka was to be transferred to me because he didn't want positions anymore. He was becoming a Muslim, not to get too far into this whole story, but I explained all of this stuff in detail. I overfed the trolls. And what good came of it?
Well, the good thing is now, you know, like I said before, my sensei is not the kind of guy that makes waves, but now he's seeing that in order to bring the truth to light, he has to make his own waves in order to prove himself, which sucks, but we've been forced into this situation. And since we've been forced here, we will prove ourselves beyond a shadow of a doubt with documentation, with pictures, with video. You can even come and visit us and feel it for real. We are always open to you coming to visit us, anytime.
So I'm pushing, right, and I'm explaining these things on these online forums, and I got to a point where I just deleted all of it. I just went on there, and it took a long time. It took like an hour plus, and I just deleted every single comment I made and every single video I put up. And the reason why is because all they did, these detractors, was make false accusations time after time after time, never interested in what was up there. When I posted a video, there were guys complaining about the angle of the video. Oh, well, the angle's not very good. Well, what about the audio? The audio is perfect. You can hear what he's saying. The whole reason why I posted it was to present what the person was saying. Oh, we don't really like the angle. And I would just apologize and say, okay, well, I'm sorry, I'll try to find you a better angle. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, complaining about things that just had nothing to do with anything.
And I think it's kind of sad that we have to explain ourselves, nor do we have to, because we've had people on our show, names such as Anthony Cummins, who has been on the Discovery Channel. Why do we have to prove ourselves to you? We're the ones that have been successful in this whole thing.
And these are the same guys that tear apart Anthony, calling him a fake, which I think is absolutely...
Is it really the same people that rip him to pieces, that's been on Discovery Channel, that actually has some credibility? Wow. That's trolls for you, though.
It doesn't make any damn sense.
It doesn't.
The thing is that they call him a fake and they rip into him, but all he does is translate ancient texts of actual ninja. So how can he possibly be fake? How?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
That doesn't make any sense.
Trolls. We love you guys. You guys are idiots.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but you guys are forcing us to be here. If you watch our prior shows, we never said anything about trolls. Nothing about trolls. But now that we're getting attacked, that's fine. We like attacks. We like attacks. We'll take your attacks and use them against you. That's what we do.
The saddest things is, like, the ringleaders of these things. We should really put video clips of these ringleaders on.
Absolutely.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah, you got to see this stuff, guys.
It's so bad. And I feel bad for doing this, but these guys, they're coming at us, attacking anything that they can possibly attack. And this is what they do. They stand above you, and they act as if you need to prove to me, prove to them who you truly are and how you can do martial arts. And the funniest thing is, they can't do martial arts. I've never seen any of these trolls, like, actual good, legitimate martial arts.
They all suck.
They all suck. And they hide under false identities on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
on
fake
YouTube.
pictures, fake names.
Yeah, on YouTube and on Facebook. And then when they do tell the truth, I understand why they don't. Because, man,
they suck.
They suck. I feel bad for saying that, because I don't tell people that other martial artists suck, but I wouldn't even consider a lot of them martial artists. One guy's attacking me like he's the Grandmaster Poobah of all creation, and he never even attained a black belt. He's down in me. I've been in martial arts longer than he's been on the planet. A lot longer. You know?
Just find something else to do. Troll somebody else that isn't legitimate. You're not going to win here. There's no wins in Mikasa.
I think they I don't think that the goal is to discredit and disprove. I think the goal is to make fun and be heard. That's what I think the goal is.
Because they suck.
Yeah, but if the goal was to try to claim that we're illegitimate and actually be able to prove that we're illegitimate, then they would go toward proof. There would be some type of logical progression to their statements. There is none. There's just a scattered bunch of idiots throwing out accusations that can't stick. One of the biggest things that they just go back to is, okay, well, you're a fraud. All right, well, how am I a fraud? I do actual technique all the time, no problem. So, I travel to different people's dojo and I teach these things on students that are not my own. Back. Yes. Can you move that way? Sure. Can you move this way? Sure. I do go up against black belts that do not believe it. The last seminar I was at, I visited a friend of mine, Ali Kareem, and the black belts are looking at my Aiki and they're going like, I don't know, that's weird stuff. And I go, no, I understand that it's weird, So I said, so grab my wrist and hold me, and don't let me do it. So I lock the guy up, and then I tell him, okay, grab with 2 hands. Now we're going to pretend that you're twice as strong. This man, we're going to pretend that one guy is grabbing me. You can use 2 hands, and he's twice as strong, and he has a hand that's just twice as big, you know. And I do the Aiki, and then I say, all right, guys, now let's pretend that this guy is just insanely strong. Let's have you grab with 2 hands, and you grab with 2 hands. So I got 4 hands on me, and then I do it, and I go, okay, let's just say that there's this like colossal, massive, like big mother, you know, he's just ridiculously huge. Okay, so let's see how many hands we can get on this, and you know, 3 guys, you know, 4 guys, all grabbing me, holding me down. I said, all right, you got me. All right, everybody got me, and they're all, whoa, you know, we're gonna fight you. Okay, all these guys are black belts. I've never trained with these guys before in my life, and I lock them up and I throw them. Now, those guys will attest to that. They were there. That's not an isolated incident where, you know, this is what I did once. This is what I do in my life. You know, that's what I do. That's what I do all the time. You know, so it's just difficult for me to have to, you know, I'm all about humility, and that's what I try to do. I tried to humble myself. I was like, man, these guys are, you know, you want to curse at them, and you want to, you mother, you just want to do that. But then okay, all right, this is where I'm at. I don't understand how I'm here, but let me explain. So I explain it. Well, why didn't you ever say that before? That's what the one guy says. I was like, actually, I did. I actually published a textbook that states that. You know. Yeah. I said that publicly, as publicly as you can possibly say it. I have it on the internet, you know. And now he's trying to sell his textbook. No, actually I wasn't. I was answering your question. You know, why didn't you do it before? I obviously did. Let's go back to that question. Oh, now he's trying to talk us in circles. No, actually, I'm trying to keep it straight line. Oh, yeah, sure you are. And then they come at me with something else.
That's like, great.
He's a mind manipulator. What?
Oh, God.
You know, but that's the type of ridiculous, you know, argumentative strategy, if you can call it a strategy, they got going on there. It reminded me of, you know, elementary school. You know?
He said, she said, she said, and all that.
You know, you're a jerk and you're gay. You know? And you're like, no, I'm a nice guy and I like girls. Sure you are gay. Sure you are gay, one. You know? And it's like, yeah, you like girls. You like your mom.
But I tell you
sort
what,
of
the trolls.
It's so much nonsense.
I find that they are younger.
Oh, they are.
Not to knock the younger generation, but there's usually the trolls are somewhere under the 30s, like that haven't been on the planet.
Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, I agree with you. Usually they are.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get like the big daddy trolls. The
big daddy trolls. Oh,
like,
the older ones?
Oh, man.
That are still in crappy arts and they can't believe what you're doing?
Pathetic, man.
Absolutely pathetic. I thank the heavens that I actually found this art, because I went through the whole karate to kung fu to taekwondo circle
and
in
do America.
What you love. And do it. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, I needed to find something that I really enjoyed, and I happened to find it here. And I feel like you know, if you're stuck in that circle and you never ever open your mind to something other than Hi-Ya, then you will never ever believe anything you see, because you're stuck in that circle of Hi-Ya. There's more to martial arts than that corner dojo that you drive by every day. You know, there's a lot of secrets out there too. There are a lot of secret arts. Some people same thing with us. We weren't open to what we trained in the very beginning.
For us, it wasn't about boasting. It wasn't about...
No, but it was about, you know, just keeping it to ourselves.
Keeping it to ourselves.
Yeah. But we became an open dojo sometime years after that, and you know, we're just starting to get these trolls. It's so funny to me because they never ever presented themselves until just recently this year.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, you know, they got spoon-fed some information. Because, you know, I had a falling out with my sensei, and because of that, as a result of that, for whatever reason, he decided to release a statement about me, and it was not favorable in everything that was stated, and they used that. They twisted it. They pulled on it. Man. Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel when that was released?
You know.
Well, I guess we have to ask what was. I guess how did you feel about what was being said? Was it true or was it untrue?
When the term kyojutsu was brought to mind, the integration of truth and falsehoods. My whole thing was that I never want to say anything that my sensei says is the absolute truth. That's how I've lived my life. And even when it's not true, and even when he's mistaken, it's still true. You know, you don't question sensei, and you never ever speak against sensei, and I was never willing to do that. And it kind of backed me into a corner, because they were saying, oh, well, your own sensei says this, and your own sensei says that. And then it's like, man, you know, what do I do with that? I know I have my own truth.
And that in itself forced us to come out and make waves.
Yeah.
Because when you're getting attacked like that, what do? You just sit there and you know, like a dog being kicked.
Yeah.
You know, like a dog can't do nothing back, but we ain't dogs. We're gonna fight back. I mean, the years that this man put into this art, the dedication he gave to this man, the years. How many years did you train under him?
17.
17 years. 17 years. And then his sensei throws him under the bus as if the 17 years meant nothing, as if he didn't learn anything from him.
Well, that was the difficulty, you know. I mean, he'd compliment me saying that, you know, I'm a strong martial artist, I'm a good martial artist. Oh, but he never learned anything advanced. You know, and I just went at it like, whatever, okay, I didn't learn anything advanced. If that's what he wants to say about me, that's fine.
But then the trolls use that as leverage against you.
Right. And saying, oh, you know, you're not an advanced student, you're just a basic student, that's what your sensei said. Well, the reason why I'm saying it is because he's very upset, you know. The reason why he's saying it is because he's, I don't know why. You know, I'm not in my sensei's head, but I'll tell you, he didn't say it out of love.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I say he didn't say it out of, you know, admiration. We were butting heads. We were butting heads pretty bad, you know. It was a he said, she said thing, and I was, you know, appalled. Like, how can you believe that person over me? And it just went sour. It went sour pretty quick, and it was like, listen, you know, this is what I said. Do you want to hear what I said? I told him what I said, and it was just nonsense. It was a lot of nonsense that just got churned into and inflated into something that it wasn't. And you know, we had our falling out. Now, the thing about it was, part of it was that position of Soke. When I attained the position of Soke, I started to speak my mind. In the past, if some type of conflict would arise, it was, what do you think about this, David? And it was, whatever you tell me to think about it, Sensei. You know, and when I attained the position of Soke, that's where things kind of changed a little bit. And he said, oh, you know, this position's going to your head. And I said, well, yeah, it is. I kind of feel like I have a say now. You know, being that I have this position of Soke, if you want to hear my thoughts, I'm presenting my thoughts. And that was never done before, because it wasn't my place to do it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it. That was part of it. And I think that came a little bit as a shock. You know, well, how long did you think these types of things, David? And I said, my whole life. You know,
which is kind of hard to take. Yeah. You know, after 17 years of training and realizing that your student really didn't agree with everything you said.
That's really what it was. Yeah. And well, why didn't you say this before? Because I was not in a position to. You know, he explained very clearly what my role in the whole thing was, and I took that role very seriously, and I and I did my best to fulfill that role. You know, I was eating at his banquet. What am I going to make waves? I'm not interested in that. You know, what am I going to create conflict? I'm not interested in that. You know, if he told me something was green and it was really blue, guess what? It's green. I'll tell anybody who wants to know, it's green. You know, and that's really what it was. The problem with them claiming that I never learned anything advanced is, one, it's just not true, and two, how do you attain the position of Soke if
you haven't learned anything advanced? Oh, jeez. Talk about it.
You know, but here's the other thing. You know, then there was like some talk. Oh well, he never granted you that position. Well, yeah, he did.
Here's the video, and here's the documentation he signed.
I have the documents, and I had him sign them in triplicate.
And here was my argument, and I feel bad, Sensei, to have taken steps to make waves myself for you in the room, but I made statements saying, well, you know, his Sensei being as skilled as he is in terminology, Japanese terminology, in English, let alone, when you're sitting there in front of the documents and it says Soke in bold letters and you still take the pen and sign it
3 times.
3 times. I mean, at that point you have to realize that this man knew what he was signing. He knew what he was awarding you. Do you go to a wedding not knowing who the bride and groom is? Do you go to a celebration not knowing what this is all about?
That whole thing was so silly. And, you know, and it came from, I'm sure it came from anger, frustration, upsetment, you know, how dare you talk to me this way, maybe, and I fire back, well, I'm in a position where I can now, and I think that's probably how it all started. Not to get too personal with the whole argument, but I think that maybe that's how it started, I'm guessing. And then it was probably like, well, then you're not a Soke. I don't know. That's a
right. Then I take this back from you.
Maybe that was, you know, maybe that was it. That's a guess. That is a total.
And since he couldn't take it back from me, he'd rather discredit you with a letter of throwing you under the bus, basically.
You know, and was that the intent of the letter? It certainly seemed like it. He did it very politely and nicely and kindly. It was really well written. I'm not interested in calling anybody a liar or saying that. I'm just not interested in that.
So the way
I tried to handle it was just to present the truth,
right? And
then like they make their own judgments,
right?
The difficulty was to present the truth. I didn't just present it with my words. I presented it with his. So here's a video of him stating that, and here's I didn't release all this stuff. I've got all kinds of stuff, you know, and.
So did you end up reaching out to your Sensei?
No, but very kind. One of his students, a really genuine guy, he wanted to end the feud, and just a great guy. And he reached out to me, and at first, not very kindly, not very nicely, but then later, you know, we found a mutual ground, and I think he's a genuine guy, and I think he's a nice person. And he was kind enough to talk through the whole thing. And a second statement was issued, and now we found a common ground. We found a truce. And I wasn't exactly pleased about the second statement, but whatever.
Is that second statement public? Can people see
it? It is. The second statement's public too. In the second statement, he does refer to me as Soke, and he does recognize that position, which is nice, because I don't really want that. You know, we're fighting over something so silly, that history. History cannot be undone, it cannot be unwritten. And I never did anything to receive, you know, hamon or anything. I disagreed with the man, so, you know, that's not... Yeah, hamon is, for those of you that don't know, is something that one receives if they did something incredibly disgraceful. The criteria is pretty simple. If they irredeemably dishonored you, then if a student had irredeemably dishonored the family, the sensei, then what you would do is you would issue this thing, and it basically states that all your rank is wiped, and I don't know you, I never knew you, and you're not affiliated with us at all. That's pretty rough. I would hate for that to happen. But I never did anything for that to happen. So then you could say you're no okay, because all the old paperwork wouldn't apply, and the scrolls that I attained would not be legitimate at that point. That's being blacklisted. And I never did anything like that. It was an amicable as a feud can be. It was an amicable divide, a split, and he went his way and I'm going mine. Unfortunately, how many trolls I've got to get in the middle of that? Stir the pot.
But it's great to know that they want to gather around and figure out what the truth is, because now we got.
That would be great if that was the case.
It's like a stadium of trolls around this whole entire thing, and it's awesome because they get to see what it really is, and hopefully they learn something from it. Hopefully they come and meet you in person and really feel what it's really about if they don't believe it, because seeing is not believing.
The only thing that it gave me, and I kind of, I just try to see the positive and the negative. It's such a negative. It's such a horrible negative.
Yeah.
The only thing that's positive is I get to show some pretty advanced stuff now.
Dang, I got that.
And not feel boastful.
Right?
Because I'm just defending myself.
Right. You're just proving that you know advanced stuff.
Yeah, because in the past, you don't show advanced stuff because then you're seen as
boastful.
He's just boasting, and he's just full of himself. And if you really knew that advanced material, why is he putting it on YouTube? Why is he? And I agree. That stuff is really for private eyes only. We have a saying in my dojo, our dojo, is privileged pain. You've got to be on the mat. You've got to be learning for years, and then maybe you'll deserve some privileged pain, and that's where you get to actually feel some very advanced waza and get to be moved by it. So there's a lot of things that I'm not ready to show, but there's a lot of things that I have been showing. And
get out of there, Ed.
A lot more than I would ever show before, and that's because it's been like a put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my hand's kind of been forced.
Absolutely, it has been. Because you wouldn't have done that on your own if you hadn't been forced. Which, see, in my view, and somebody else from the room might think differently, but I think it was a good thing because it not only proves that you know what you're talking about. But it also shows people that you know what you're talking about. And if they need further proof, they can come to the dojo.
Yeah, that's the problem, too. When you start getting advanced, the only people that are going to appreciate that are people who are also advanced in the same field. If I were to go to anyone in an advanced field, rocket science, and somebody started to explain rocket technology to me, I'd probably get lost pretty quick, and then I'd be looking to another rocket scientist to explain or at least validate what he's saying. So I'd be like, like, is he telling the truth?
Right?
Is that correct? And the problem is that when you're talking about advanced Aiki skills, who's going to be doing that?
I tell you, I just saw one of the trolls videos about Aiki, and I'm like, that's not Aiki.
Yeah,
it was judo, and I'm like, that's not Aiki. If anything, it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and judo mixed, and they called it Aiki. Like the title says advanced Aiki, and it was just like dip bump twist, and I'm like, that's judo, dude. There was no Aiki at all.
Yeah.
So are they going to those practitioners and say, "Oh, was he telling you?" Is what you're saying is and that's what's going. That's why trolls multiply like freaking gremlins.
Yeah, and the problem is, you got a guy that'll speak out and he'll be like, "I was in kung fu for 20 years, and what I'm seeing right now does not make sense." Well, then I would like to say, of course.
You've never done this.
Of course. You've never done that. Yes. You know?
That's when you take your black belt off and come put on a white belt and learn
Yes.
some new good
Right.
stuff. Like,
You know?
not saying what you learned wasn't good, but there are levels to this.
You know? I've been a carpenter for this many years. That rocket technology does not make sense. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's the problem.
That's
You know. And you know, there's the issue of Ike looks fake.
Mhm.
It does look fake.
Yeah.
You know.
It does. First time I saw it, I didn't believe it.
It does. Because it's effortless and it's.
Oh, the other argument was, well, I saw your video and I just don't believe it because they could have let go at any point. And I'm like, no, actually, I felt technique that Sensei have done that you can't let go. And Sensei will say, try to let go. And you can't.
Right. So you grab my wrist here, right, like that. Okay, so there it is, right?
Right.
And that's a connection up into Bry's spine. Now, Bry, you let go, and I just continue that connection. That's all.
Mm.
You know. So maybe I don't have that connection here, okay? But as he lets go, I just spin into there. There it is. You know. And if you continue to push away from me, that just fuels what I've got. That fuels my technique. There's no. It's not about holding on. And the same argument can be made too. I can make a person hold on, but even if I couldn't make a person,
That's what I'm talking about. The techniques that made me hold on was amazing because it's like, oh my god, I can't let go.
Right. But even if that failed, okay, there are techniques that I can make a person hold on. Even if that failed and the person tried to jump off of me, the connection was made. There are penalties for severing that connection. The penalties, the person's not willing to sacrifice to attain the disconnect. Therefore, the connect is always there. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to put these things in simple terms, but to put it in simple terms, the way out is the way in to pain. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to go out because it's too painful. Mm. You know? The way out of Ike is true. Well,
that makes so much sense when I'm thinking about it now. All the different techniques. It's like, oh my gosh, he's right. The only way out of this is if I hurt myself.
Hurt yourself.
Yeah. I have to hurt myself in order to get out of it, and it's so painful. Like I don't want to get out of it.
Right. And that's my description of what I consider true Ike, because I don't want to insult anybody. But yeah,
that's a deep understanding. You would have to have some kind of Ike knowledge to even know what that means. Not judo, not jujitsu. You know, it's totally different.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know,
Hi-ya.
And there's nothing wrong with Hi-ya.
I'm not saying there is. It is not Aiki. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not Aiki.
No, it's not Aiki.
Not Aiki.
Yeah.
And not Aikido's Aiki. There's some very good Aikido practitioners out there. But anyone who is a very good Aikido practitioner is knowing what I'm talking about when I say not Aikido's Aiki. Mm-hmm. It's nothing against Aikido.
But it's just not Aiki.
It's just not Aiki. We need a different term.
Yeah.
We use the term Sogobujutsu as an umbrella term, encompassing all of the art. Because many of the koru that the art was derived from were not Aiki Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. They were Jiu-Jitsu, different forms of Jiu-Jitsu. And for me to say, I do Aiki Jiu-Jitsu, that's just not accurate. I do some Aiki Jiu-Jitsu. I do some ninjutsu. I do some Jiu-Jitsu. I do some, you know. So we use the term Sogobujutsu, meaning the integration of all warrior forms and tactics and techniques. This is one reason why we use the term Sogobujutsu. Another reason is because everything is integrated, meaning the same way that we cut is the same way that we strike, is the same way that we apply our Aiki, is the same way that we apply our joint locks, our punches, our strikes. And a strike is a joint lock, is Aiki, is a cut with a knife, is everything.
It's all compounded.
All of it. One motion. Now, if we really get down to it, in regards to legitimacy, it's really simple. It's really simple. Look at the movement. Is a principle-based movement. or was it something slapped together where a person learned this technique, learned that technique? You know, I learned judo, and then I learned aikido, and now I have aikijudo, and that'd be a neat art. Hey, somebody should found that art.
Yeah, aikijudo actually. Yeah,
aikijudo.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. Whatever. The point is that when you have a principle-based art, the technique speaks for itself. And you know, how many demonstrations do you have to do? I guess an endless amount before you can convince somebody.
Well, feeling is believing, Sensei. You know that.
Seeing is not believing.
I'm sorry, seeing is not believing, but feeling is believing. Right, I said that wrong.
No, you were right though. Feeling is believing, and
feeling is believing.
That is the issue. The issue is that I don't have the money to get a 15-passenger van and drive to everybody's house. Pour out of that thing in numbers and wreck shop. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
We need to start a Kickstarter. What is that? Right?
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Start a Kickstarter.
We want to visit dojo talking
just
smack.
Beat the crap.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That's horrible. That's
no, it's not.
That's giving
you
in
know how many people
right
would
there.
Some people would actually give to that
they probably
that Kickstarter to see it happen. And I promise you, if we do this, we'll videotape every moment.
Oh yeah, multiple angles.
I got a GoPro. We can get a bunch of GoPros and just put it on everybody.
I would love
and
to
just go in and just wreck shop.
What are you feeling right now?
Oh God, that'd be freaking amazing.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be great. We're gonna do a Kickstarter, guys, just for fun.
No, we're not.
Okay, not for fun.
No,
for
we're
real.
not gonna do a Kickstarter. We're gonna get like 50 cents.
No. I think people would actually donate to do that. That would be so cool.
Get out of here. Watch Sensei beat people up.
Yeah. Wait.
Make the non-believers bleed.
What was the name of it? The Kickass Tour.
That's what we could call it, though.
Yeah, the Kickass... What?
Oh, the Tour of Force.
Yeah, the Tour of Force.
That's cool. That was a friend of mine, Carlos Febres Sensei. He did that. He rented a van, and he called it the Tour of Force. And this was when...
I love you, Feminine Sensei. You're awesome, man.
He is awesome.
Oh, my God.
And this was when ninjutsu was new, and I guess it was like maybe late 80s, maybe? I might be wrong. Anyway, he piled his students into the van, and they took a tour up the East Coast. It was like visiting dojo along the way, and showing Nindo-Ryu, showing their art, and proving, once and for all this is real. Which is great, But he had the money and the resources to do that, and we do not.
But we will be asking you guys soon to fund that venture, which would be absolutely awesome.
Hey,
stay tuned.
You know what? If we actually did that and you guys did fund that, I would be more than happy to go around locking people up with Aiki, putting them in tremendous pain, and making them scream for their mommies.
And
I would totally do that.
And here's a bonus: if you donate more than $100, you can actually name the dojo that you want us to visit
first. That's a cheap price.
The more money okay, that's what we'll do. We'll put positions.
Okay.
The top of the list. If you donate $1,000, you get the top of the list. First dojo, we'll go.
Yeah.
And then we'll. I mean, if we get more than 1,000 offers, or we get more than $1,000 offer, we'll have to truncate them some kind of way, or as far as distance, that's what we'll do. So, like, if you give us $1,000, we'll go to the first dojo that you name that's the closest to us, right? And then, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. See
people are they're gonna have like a place in Africa, and we're gonna not go.
Hey, listen,
like, he's a fake. He didn't go to Africa.
Oh man, see, I hear what you're saying though. No, I hear what you're saying. We'll start the American tour first. If the American tour goes good, we'll do another Kickstarter.
Stick it to the East Coast. There's a lot of hardcore schools in the East Coast.
Yeah.
And that'll be an easier drive.
Yeah. You guys would love to see that. Please, write us. There's a portion here at the bottom of the screen. Send us comments. Let us know if we should really take this venture, because I'm down, and I know a ton of his students would be down
if
too.
If you guys really want us to start that Kickstart, I was joking around.
He's joking around, but I'm not.
But if you want us to, I would totally do
everybody
it.
just...
I am juvenile enough to really want to go around beating people up.
Yeah, so hit... So hit the like button. Alright, we're going to have to cut this up so you have it in a specific place so they can hit the like button on this one. If you guys want us to do this tour, hit the like button below. And
we always have open comments.
Or open comments, sure. Open
comment underneath the YouTube channel.
Yeah. If you want us to do it, hey man, throw us $1. You know, every bit was gonna count to get us there. You know,
$1 won't count.
We need gas.
It's $1.
All right. So how much are we gonna take per person?
That won't count. That won't count. You're gonna put me in the poorhouse.
Okay.
Okay. Well, five people gave $1, so I guess we gotta go.
All right, so we gotta make a minimum. But in any case, we really would want to do this. I'm down to do it. You guys might even want to see us get beat up. You guys might be trolls. There might be some trolls watching this right now. Listen, donate to the Kickstarter. Send this to one of your favorite dojos and watch us go to work.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, if you hate us, donate.
It would be
get us beat up. Try it. Try it, please. That would be so much fun. Okay, new topic. Yeah? Let's get off of this because this is too much fun.
Well, I guess that was that.
Yeah, that's that.
Technique of the week.
That's where you're not standing. Right? Aiki is often asking a person or I like the term forcing. Leading a person into standing where they can't stand. Asking a person through a physical exchange, asking a person to commit to something they can't support. The reason why they'll commit is because of their belief. Their belief is that this kage that's applied here, very powerful technique, is superior to whatever I have. And they're right. See, apply. Kind of.
Hey guys, this is our storytelling part of Interview with Sensei. Yeah. And we thought it would be cool just to let you guys in on a couple of stories that we've and things that we've been through dealing with martial arts.
Yeah.
And I know Sensei's got a ton of stories.
Yeah, the untold stuff. So, this tale is a difficult one. And it's a true story, and I wish it wasn't, actually. I had this mother come in, and a lot of moms come in, they do this from time to time. So she comes in, and she says, if you don't promote my son to his next rank within the next month, I'm pulling him out. I said, that's not up to me. That's up to him. He's got to develop the skills to attain the rank. She says, I don't believe in that crap. I don't care about that nonsense. And I said, what? I said, one of the reasons why you picked the school was so that we teach your son martial arts. She says, no, I don't care about martial arts. She says, nobody's ever going to use that nonsense anyways. She keeps belittling me and belittling the art. And I said, I'd like to change your opinion about that because what I teach is very realistic martial arts and realistic self-defense, and that's something I take pride in, something I really work to do the right thing by each one of my students. She says, no, he's here for self-confidence, maybe to meet some new friends, and as an activity. I was like, oh, all right. I said, well, if you don't mind, I'll be teaching him realistic self-defense at the same time. She says, no, I do mind. I want him to get belts, and I want him to move up. That's what I'm paying you for. I said, that's not how I see it.
Wow.
So she says, so we get into a discussion about how she thinks it's all bullcrap and how it's just nonsense. And I tell her, we work today very hard on knife self-defense. You think that's nonsense? She says, yeah. Who's going to attack somebody with a knife in this day and age? It's absolutely ridiculous that anybody would ever do that.
Well, in the UK, somebody just got decapitated. I'm pretty sure. With a butcher's knife.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and some kind of other cutlery knife, and he had. I mean, you're talking about catching somebody red-handed. His hands were full of blood. And he's like, "Oh, I killed him. It was me. Yeah, I got the knives. Yeah."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it still happens.
Yeah. Well, it actually happened to her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
To the mom?
Yeah. It was rough.
It happened to her?
Yeah.
A knife attack?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I guess she was dating some guy in prison, and when he was released, he went on a rampage and chased her through the house to murder her with a knife. And unfortunately, she didn't believe in martial arts, and she thought it was all silly, and which is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Her grandfather was killed first, and then her father, as she was running from this man. They both, I guess, stood in the way and tried to stop her. And then the next door neighbor heard her screaming, and he came over, and the guy murdered him. And then he finally got to her, and he stabbed her to death. Yeah. So, horrible story. But not all of the stories you hear are good ones, but every single one of them, whether they're good or bad, you need to let them inspire you. And let's never make the same mistake twice. Learn from history.
That's crazy how she was against her son learning knife defense.
It was actually the last conversation we had was about she used the word bullshit that he'll never use. And she did that. She was like, and scoffing. She was like scoffing at it.
God rest her soul, man. I bet you she's in the next life she'll
Be a martial artist.
yeah, and learn a ton of knife defenses, hopefully.
Yeah. One phrase comes to mind, and that is dead wrong.
Oh, jeez.
It's horrible. I'm not trying to make jokes. I'm just saying, like that's the phrase that runs through my head every time I say
Dead wrong is right, though. I mean, if you had to have a phrase for it.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
That's awful. That's awful. And the son? What's the son doing now?
I was told that he moved quite a bit away. He had a sister, and the sister and him luckily were at sleepovers over their friend's house at the time that this happened.
I'm sure he would have killed them if they were there, for sure.
He seemed to be killing everybody, so.
And this guy's in jail now, then?
Yeah. I don't really know. I stopped following the story. I was kind of appalled by the whole thing and just taken back.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
And, it's just not something that I would love to have been wrong, And what are the chances that I was right, honestly? How many people are attacked by knife attacks? It's
an eye-opener. It's absolutely an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the mom wasn't training with you,
Right.
it's obvious that knife defense should be taken seriously.
Absolutely. And you never think it's going to happen to you. And I always say preparedness when it meets opportunity breeds success. And I say it often, it's one of my favorite sayings. And, we need to be prepared. I often, when people laugh at me when they hear, some people do, oh, what do? You spend your time as a martial artist, and you spend your time practicing against gun disarms and knife disarms. And they laugh and I go, that's so silly. And I laugh right back. And I go, you're silly. Because who do you think you're living with? You're living with lions and tigers and bears.
Right.
Oh my. That's, I'm making jokes, but that's who you're living with. People are dangerous.
People will be people.
They're dangerous. And what, you think that people don't wield knives? They do. And you think people don't want to kill you? They do.
Yeah, it's like my mom. I was just having this conversation with my mom, and she thinks the best of everyone. Like, completely. The first chance she gets.
People kill you for sneakers. That was like the thing that they did in the late 80s. Remember that?
Oh, God, yeah. I remember people were getting robbed for their sneakers, for their starter jackets. If you guys were hip on 90s.
Oh, 8-ball jackets.
8-ball jackets.
Man.
Those were like the straight leather jackets that were like $500 a pop.
Yeah, people get murdered for the jackets.
Crazy. But I told her, I said, Mom, and she said, she caught herself. She said, I need to stop thinking that everybody's an angel. I need to stop thinking that that's everybody. So, oh my gosh, you know, that's awesome, Mark. Yeah, because some people are really messed up. There are some evil people in this world.
Yeah.
For many years, she just thought the best of everyone. Well, why would they do something like that? I bet you there's a reason why. And it's like, who cares, man?
That doesn't matter.
Right. There's some people that don't need a reason.
And it doesn't matter the reason. It
Or
doesn't matter the reason.
Right.
You know, he might, you know, I always bring up, I'm kind of an extremist. I bring up the extreme analogy. Here's the extreme analogy. It doesn't matter why he's a child molester. He's not going near my kids.
Right.
You know, like
you don't want to know the reason.
Yeah, I don't. You know, honestly,
something within him makes him do evil things.
You know, maybe he had a rough life. Maybe he had
doesn't matter.
Witnessed something horrible. Maybe horrible things happen to him. None of that matters. Stay with my kids. That's it. You know? And that's the difficulty is that we live. You know, I've said this way too many times. We live in a society where it's really nice to close our eyes to some things. And as long as I go to work, I get a paycheck, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll pay my bills on time, and maybe they're a little late, but I'll be okay. Everything's going to be fine, just fine and dandy. Well, no, not necessarily. As long as I'm a good man, good things will come to me. It's a wonderful thought.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful thought, and I hope you're right, but just in case,
I'm gonna work.
Yeah.
Just in case, let me work towards something. Let me put some action to that thought.
Man. And you know, I say it all the time that when we're training for that knife self-defense, yeah, we're definitely training for knife self-defense. But you know what? We're training so many things for so many reasons. It's not like we're just in case the knife comes. No, these skills can be applied to all of life.
Okay.
So why not train for extreme conditions, and then when you have any uncomfortable condition, you're like, well, listen, last week I was training against 3 different people trying to attack me at the same time with, you know, with large pieces of chalk that represent a knife, you know? And I got this.
If I can handle 3, 1 is no problem.
Yeah, or you know, somebody trying to talk over you. You know, no, excuse me, sir. You know, you just think back to those 3 knife attackers. Like, no, right? Excuse me.
It applies across the board.
Yeah, across
preparation.
The board. Absolutely.
That reminds me of Noah. I don't know why it popped in my head, but Noah and the Ark. You know, they're apparently living out in the desert.
Yeah.
You know, and they see this old man building this boat. Like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, he was probably the laughing stock of the entire town.
Sure.
Here comes that flood.
Yeah.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah.
You never know when the flood's gonna come.
Yeah,
So prepare for it.
Prepare. You know, I always like that show, Doomsday Preppers.
Oh yeah.
Those guys are badass.
Oh god, yo, they had like gas masks. They had.
You know, if you have the money, why not?
Prepare.
You know,
if I did, I'd dig. I would have. Yeah.
I just don't have the cash for that. But if you have the cash for that, why not? I mean, definitely be a humanitarian as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, take care of your own.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Of course, I am an extremist, and I said that before. You know.
But the moral of the story is, prepare.
Oh yeah, prepare.
Lehigh Valley,